everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am joining in with the Channel Mum topics because, as you may or may not know, I am new to Channel Mum. I won the Vlogstar competition, so I am still new to this whole vlogging world, and I still find it slightly strange that I just sit here and talk to a camera, but I'm sure I'll get used to it. Channel Mum every week do a different topic, and we get to join in with ones that we feel quite passionate about, and there is one this time round that I feel really strongly about, and it's bullying. So obviously my children are a bit too young at the moment to have entered the world of bullying, I guess. I left school 10 years ago, and still to this day I feel like I've been scarred by it. I'm not going to sit here and make you all feel sorry for me, because I know I'm not the only one that's been bullied. It is so common and it happens to everybody, whether it's physical, mental, verbal. So yeah, at school, mainly secondary school, I wasn't in with the most popular crowd, but I wasn't, you know, sat on my own at all times. I have, from what I remember, 3 very close friends from school which I still speak to now. So I will give them a shout out actually. Lindsay, Sophie and April, if you're watching, then I love you and thank you for being so kind to me at school. I think you're probably the only ones that I really sort of looked up to and not relied on, because that sounds horrible, but you were always there for me if I'd had a bad time or anything like that. I don't really know the real cause as to why I was bullied at school. It was boys and girls actually that did it. And you know, I'd go home to my parents and my mum would do that standard mum thing. Oh, it's just jealousy. Oh, they're just jealous. But then I just sort of sit there and think, but what are they jealous of? You know, I think that's just a standard parent thing to say. Oh, they're only bullying you because they're jealous. They're trying to make themselves feel better. But I don't know, in my head I couldn't really work that out. I was bullied for a long time actually at school. I think from year 7 when I started all the way through to maybe year 10 or 11. Like school, I didn't like. It wasn't a very good time in my life. I actually hated it, and I remember waking up some mornings and pretending that I felt really ill, or said that I had a headache or felt sick, just so that I didn't have to go in, because I didn't want to face what was to come. There were a few sort of instigators and like main parties of the bullying that I sometimes even see to this day, and it just makes me feel sick. I mean, obviously I know we're all grown up, we're all adults, but still, like, in the back of my mind I still see them as being that nasty, spiteful, horrible child. I know people change and people grow up and they forget their past or whatever, but I think for me, I don't know, it's just stuck with me, and there's even words to this day that I can't hear because I heard it so much at school that when I hear it I'm like, oh, it just brings back memories and it just makes me feel really horrible. If you don't already know, I don't think I've actually made it public or anything, but my mum is married to a woman. So my mum and dad separated when I was about 10 years old, and yeah, my mum left my dad for another woman. So obviously that is one thing that I didn't want people to find out when I was at school. So I kind of kept it to myself, and yeah, it just got out. People are so nosy, I don't know, but things just get out. You can never keep anything to yourself, and I don't know if it's just Basingstoke where everybody knows everybody, I don't know, but it just got out. So as you can imagine, I was a huge target. Oh, your mum's gay, blah blah blah, so much. It was horrible. I was a very young girl, and to hear all of these words being thrown at me was just, yeah, awful. I remember I'd go home crying most days from school, or go home on my lunch break and not want to go back. It was just, yeah, awful. I remember I was stood outside, and my friend Sophie actually was stood next to me at the time. I was stood outside my science class waiting to go in, and all of a sudden this girl, which was like one of the worst ones, came running up to me, and she pushed me up against the wall and put her hand around my throat and accused me of fancying her boyfriend. I mean, I laugh at it now because it is the most ridiculous thing to pull somebody up on. Anyway, this girl accused me of fancying her boyfriend, which I did not, by the way. He is not to my taste. And I remember just saying something like, "Can you get off me? You must be joking," as if I'd fancy your boyfriend. Well, that was the wrong thing to say. What's wrong with my boyfriend? Blah, blah, blah. And I just thought, oh, what have I started? I should have just kept my mouth shut, let her do what she had to do, and that would be it. So yeah, that was one incident, excuse me, that I remember so vividly in my mind. And also, there was another girl that came down from up north somewhere, and she was like the gorgeous, really popular girl everybody just attached to. So yeah, so I was sat in my drama class and we were all sat on chairs, and this girl just came bounding in, literally pushed me off the back of my chair. I fell on the floor. It was awful because I just thought, what have I done now? Like, do I fancy her boyfriend now? Like, it was just ridiculous things that I don't think people actually, like, there weren't facts. They didn't have an actual point as to why they were bullying me. I think maybe because I was quiet, because my mum and dad split up, my mum was gay, you know, I was just an easy target. Also, my background, my dad is Anglo-Indian, so he's obviously quite dark, and my mum's English, so I'm sort of in between, I think. I'm not dark, but I'm not very fair. Dark hair, obviously. I'm quite a hairy person, so I think that was a massive target as well. The one word that I even dread to hear this day is the word Hitler, and I'm gonna say it because I'm gonna face it. My nickname at school was Hitler, basically because they thought that I had a moustache. Hitler is one of the worst words that I can even hear to this day because it just brings back so much. Like, literally, I would go to school and there'd be people walking along the corridor with their finger over their mouth and their hand up in the air and like kicking their legs like as I walked past. How cruel is that? Like, some people can be just so damn nasty. I don't know, everybody seemed to make such an effort to make my life hell at school. It was just awful. Yeah. It was really weird as well because it was boys and girls, and it was people that were older than me and people that were younger than me. So I don't know whether people would just come into the school and be like, oh, everybody's bullying her, let's join in on the bandwagon and like give her crap too. I just don't understand it. And like, my mum and my dad both went up to school like numerous times to obviously talk to them about the bullying and how I'd been feeling, and but I think maybe the worst thing that ever happened was the person that was bullying me got put into isolation for a day, so I was like almost free from bullying for a day, and then the next day it would go back to normal again. So I think in that sense, like, the school, even though they said, oh, we don't tolerate bullying, bullying is one of our things that, you know, we will not put up with, but actually they didn't do anything about it. It's probably why my school's closing down now. I loved school because I met my close friends that I speak to this day, and there are a couple of people that did join in, like, slightly, like would give me little digs here and there, but actually, like, now they've grown up, I think, you know, they've grown up a bit, and we do talk, and if I see some people, then obviously I'm going to be the bigger person and be like, oh, hi, and, you know, if they don't say hello back, then they don't say hello back. I just kind of, even though I want to just stick my middle finger up at them and just be like, screw you all for making my life hell, but, you know, I'm past it now. It's, I do think though that being bullied is so tough to deal with because it does leave you with scars, and, you know, you do think about these things every now and again, and I think it definitely knocked my confidence. I think that's probably why I was quite shy or quite quiet, because I just felt so horrible in myself. I felt really self-conscious, yeah, didn't have any confidence whatsoever. I just found school like one of the toughest parts of my life, actually. I would say I found it really tough to deal with. I had a lot going on. My parents were getting divorced, you know, my mum was with another woman, which, as you can imagine, I was like freaking out about. And I do feel like it sort of made me stronger now, having to go through all of that. Yeah, it was just a horrible time in my life and I didn't enjoy it at all. So I do just hope to God and I pray that when the boys go to school that they never have anything like that. I would absolutely be beside myself if they came home and said that they'd been a target for bullies. It would just be awful. I know I'm not the only one, and I'm sure everybody out there who is watching has been bullied at some point in their life. I just want to basically tell everybody my story, really. I mean, it's not bad, but it could have been a lot worse, and it does stick with you, but it's fine. Like, I'm fine now, and it's kind of nice to just get it out, actually, because I haven't spoken about it in like a really long time. Yeah, if any of you out there that are being bullied, then make sure you do speak to somebody about it, because I held a lot of it in for such a long time that it got to the point where I would just lie and say that I wasn't well, and just so I didn't have to go to school. So definitely be open and speak to as many people as you can about it and make people aware. I just feel like bullying needs to stop. This is not fair. Like, people, how other humans can make other humans feel so small and so sad and so upset, so hurt. I don't know, I just it's nasty. It is nasty. Children can be nasty. Anyway, this is kind of a depressing video. I'm really sorry. So yeah, definitely head over to the Channel Mum website as well, where you'll find so many videos on all sorts of topics. Make sure you go over there and check it out, especially if you are being bullied or you have been and you want to see other people's stories and how they've overcome it. Then definitely head there, and I'll put the link down below so you can go and check it out. Thanks for watching, guys. Speak to you soon. Bye.